Welcome everyone. Here in Amsterdam, we're in front of the Tropenmuseum, and today we have a very special day for you. So join me, let's go inside. We're here for the opening of the exhibition Through the Lens of, which is a collaboration between the Tropenmuseum, the World Press Photo, and Everyday Africa. And Through the Lens of showcases the works of many selected contemporary African photographers, and it's really impressive. So much talent being shown here. To open the exhibition, I have two guests with me. They're very special, and I have to say it's a great privilege to go through the exhibition with them. So join me as we welcome them. Today, I will be walking through the exhibition with people who I would like to call friends, but they don't know that we're friends yet. And we're going to enjoy this exhibition together. To my right, we have my dear friend, Joumana el Zein Khoury. Joumana, can you tell us what you do at World Press Photo?
Yeah, sure. I'm at World Press Photo, the director since February, so quite only 5 months ago. And very excited to be here in order to see this opening and do this opening with my friends here.
Great, and my other friend, my dear friend Wayne Modest, is also here with us. Wayne, can you tell us what it is that you do here?
I'm Wayne Modest, and I'm the director of content here at the Tropenmuseum. And as part of this friendship, first of all, I'd like to just say how happy we are to be doing this together with World Press, so the importance of that collaboration. But also, Ama invites us to friendships, and that's a part of what we want to do all the time. Good companions, Ama, good companions.
Thank you so much. We hope that you will all join us as we explore the photographs, and you will come yourselves live to see them. Let's go. So we're here at the photos of Etinosa Yvonne, and Yvonne is Nigerian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she has made this really interesting layered photography. And I understood that this photography is also very much about war traumas and dealing with that. I wonder, because it looks like a classic photojournalism topic, but it's made by someone from the community. Perhaps we could reflect a little bit on the power of telling your own story in such a context.
Well, absolutely. I mean, what I find really incredible about this work is basically the multi-layered facet that the photographer brings in, and the fact that they deal with a topic that is, well, for photography and press photography, very difficult to deal with, which is mental health. So how do you showcase that in a medium such as photography? And I find that the way that it has been done here, which is by basically putting the different layers that are happening in one's mind in the image, is really beautiful. And then, you know, as is the cases, I think, in many photographies, especially in press photography, where you want to give also the context, which is as important as the photo in order for you to understand. I think also what has been written here by the survivors of the traumas, and its traumas linked to terrorism, but also other forms of violences, accompanies it very well and gives you this introspection into a person's life. You know, telling the unheard stories by the, well, silent voices.
Yeah.
Whatever is happening here in Nigeria is happening in different places, but manifesting as different things. We need to have a more proactive society. So when you hear the people who have been through these things, then you know that for real, we need to do something. We need to figure out how to make sure that this doesn't go on.
For us, this work is about the individuation of, but also about how this is a bigger story for us to think through our own, even our own implicatedness in these forms of violence and violence against women in this situation in particular. And I think that that excites us here at the Tropenmuseum, that we can be a part of this kind of conversation. And a part of works like this is to think about how do we live with each other and imagine other worlds together, and that is important.
But I think also how do you change?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think that's really something that's very important. When we spoke together, I told you that there was a Martinican philosopher that touches me a lot. His name is Edouard Clisson. And what he does is he defines the relationship is to change by exchanging without losing oneself. And actually, this is very much is you're able to change your perspective or by understanding other people's perspectives, and then making it your own and seeing how you can integrate it into who you are and how you see the world.
Let's do a little walk. Let's go to to the rest of the exhibition. Here we are in front of Rija Solo's work. He's a Malagasy photographer.
It is very hot. That's why I wanted very bright photographs while systematically including a human element in each photograph.
What is, I think, very interesting in this work is how the photographer has chosen to take at the one part macro perspective by doing these big shots, these big photos, and then zooming in and going into the micro and going into, you know, how one individual person that is part of this macro perspective is actually influenced in how they deal one-on-one with this climate catastrophe basically that's happening. And that it's not just a notion, it's an actual reality that is actually touching people. So it's again, you know, going and being able to relate, being able to zoom in on this one story, because at the end of the day, that's what people remember, right? This one story. That's how, you know, in any case, how when I speak about the organizations or the work or the impact, I think it's so much stronger to say, this is, you know, this is a story of someone that we have supported or that we've worked with, and this is what happened, etc. And then you're able not only to feel connected to that person and to that notion much strongly, but also to remember it and to act and try and do something with it.
We've been involved in an ongoing conversation around climate crisis. We have one of our research lines in our research center is about planetary histories and how do we tell different planetary histories with our collections and with the museum, especially in relationship to colonialism. So we often see colonialism as improvement. They went to improve rather than thinking of it as an extractive catastrophe on the planet itself. So we've been trying to make that link more recently also with contemporary artists. So it is very important for this also to be here because we see ourselves as also implicated in fashioning more caring relationships for both people and planet.
How does this care relate to your roles as directors? Because you have very special positions, right, in institutions that have been around for a while and maybe bringing new values or new perspectives. How does that work for you? How do you reflect on your roles and this collaboration? Because as we're talking, there's so much overlap in your thinking.
The photos that are awarded by our contest are seen by over 5-6 million people around the world. I mean, it's just crazy, basically. So you have, with that comes a big responsibility, which is the responsibility of making sure that not only are you showing real stories and what is the notion of real stories today, which becomes really difficult, but also, and more importantly, of giving a right balance to all the stories and the ethics of who is telling whose story. Because that for me is very important, actually.
I think with any museum like ours that uses the word world in its title, then one thing that is also important for us is to realize that we are only a small node in the world, and that the world is much, much bigger than us. And that's, in a way, that's one of the things that we've been invested in our collections, that our collections here in a museum like this, with all of the contestation and the difficulty with these collections of where they come from, they offer us the possibility to recognize that we are a small part of the world, very tiny. Yeah. And that in terms of knowing and being and living and experiencing what life is in the human and non-human world, we need to realize, to provincialize ourselves, that we are small in a massive story, which is what we are trying to tell here.
Here we have this really amazing light, I find. with the work, it's called Women of Libya by Nada Harib from Libya. So it's a Libyan woman telling stories of Libyan women.
There are many difficulties that women face in this society. The main issue is the security instability, obviously. I captured the beauty of Libya through the series of Women of Libya and showing to the world that we're facing wars, but Libya is beautiful.
She tried to, to be able to showcase Libya in a different lens, through the lens not only of the Gaddafi and all the horrors that have been portrayed of what Libya is, but much more through the people of Libya, and here very much through the diversity of the women of Libya. So you see, a Tuareg woman, you actually also see her own niece, yeah, so I find it really beautiful, and they're beautiful images. And I find it really interesting how she, again, zooms in on the person in order for you to relate in a personal manner to a country, and not in a, how do you call it, in a much more sterile manner to, okay, Libya, Gaddafi, war, Reagan, bombing, all these kind of things that come to your mind. But also she goes again personal, like a lot of the photos and the stories that you see in this exhibition, which really zooms in on this one person, one story. And here it's about her niece, who's wearing the cloth of her mother, and cloth in Libya, of course, represents also something very important. The photographer plays around with the geometrics that are existing on the cloth, and she superimposes them on the photography. So I find this quite beautiful.
Yeah.
And we were discussing actually with you the importance of cloth also in Ghana.
Yeah.
So this also comes back here. And actually, if you look at all the photos, the cloth are a very essential part of the images.
There's something else about the cloth that I found interesting, is the difference in them, the diversity themselves. For an institution that is so invested in material culture, it is also important what the meaning of cloth, how it wraps, what it does, what it tells. Every photograph here that is not embedded in telling us the story that we've already known is inviting us to think about other possibles.
Yeah.
So that is also
Great.
exciting.
Other possibles.
Yes. Yeah. One needs to be companions in thinking about what different futures can look like, right? So let us say that we try to find companions, which is what we were trying to find with you, with World Press, in an attempt to be able to fashion a different kind of future.
And that's what this permits, right? What this exhibition permits. It invites us all to come and explore other possibles and the relationship between this. We can all join in.
So please come.
Yes, that is it. That is the story. You need to come. You need to come and
You need to come. So that was a really great time with the two directors. I got so many rich insights from them. We had so many great conversations at each of the series, talking about different types of unexpected topics, including values like being careful and caring, things like humility, but also about the many stories that there are in a series of photographs. So please do come here, do come and check it out, come and enjoy the photos, come alone, come together, and let these many possibilities emerge as you experience the photographs. So the museum is open, the exhibition is open. If you want more information, check out the website. See you around.